Good afternoon, everyone. Great to see you all. Welcome to our 10th lecture. Welcome. This is the QR code. Please do register your attendance. Great to see you all. Let us get started then. Good afternoon, everyone. So today, here's our agenda for today. We will start with a mock interview. I think that practicing for your job interviews is a great value exercise. It adds a great value. You can do this on your own, but I thought we should practice in our class as well. So we'll start with that, and then in the second part, there is a workshop on weirdness, which is, I think, crucial. We all should embrace and celebrate our weirdness. And the last part is about failures, why we should celebrate, embrace our failures, and think about them. So let us get started. In the first part, we start with simulated job interviews. Remember, we talked about how you want to use your body language and communication for the job interview process. So you'll apply that skill now. I will form up groups, clusters of 2 people now, and you will be working in clusters of 2. But before we start, I want you to create your own answers. Please open your notebook and please respond to these questions. These are the most common, typical job interview questions that are asked. So I want you to create your own talking points. Please create your own talking points. What will you say to these? Create a couple of bullet points, not too long. 2 to 3 bullet points is fine. So please create 2 to 3 bullet points for each of these. Open your notebook and respond to each of these job interview questions in the next couple of minutes. Imagine that you are entering a job interview in a couple of minutes, okay? So imagine that you want to be ready. Open your notebook and quickly create your answers. Write them down quickly. You don't need to prepare perfect answers. Just improvise. Use some bullet points. Okay. So these are the questions. Please think about your answers. Write them in a couple of bullet points quickly. Tell me about yourself. What will you say? Why do you want to work here? And you can tell this about your ideal job company, okay? Why should we hire you? Why do you think you are a good candidate? What is your greatest strength? What is your biggest weakness? Give me an example of a difficult situation at work. How did you deal with this situation? Tell me about an achievement you are proud of. And where do you see yourself in 5 years? So these are the most frequently asked job interview questions. I want you to come up with your own answers. Please improvise. Write them down very quickly in the next couple of minutes. And then we will start the mock interviews, okay? So be ready to talk about these. Make some quick notes, please. As you go over, open your notebook and make some quick notes, please, on these questions. How would you answer them? Do a quick brainstorming. Quickly write down your answers. Two to three bullet points is fine. for each question, and do it quickly. So please quickly brainstorm on your answers. Make some quick notes. Try to wrap up your answers, please, as much as you can. Remember, you don't need to have the perfect answer. Just figure out some answers for now. You can improve them. The more practice you have with your friends, the more mock interviews you have over coffee with your friends, the more you will improve these. Okay, but we will just make a initial preparation today. Okay, so your answers don't need to be perfect at this stage. Just figure out what you will say for each. Please wrap up your answers now. Be ready to talk. Thank you, Yutong. That's a good example, I think, of the talking points. So please think about your own talking points. How would you respond to these questions? Okay. Okay, now I will assign you to teams. Okay, what you will do is the following. So let's do this mock interview. You will work in clusters of 2. Okay, you will work in clusters of 2, and one of you will be the recruiter, the other one will be the job applicant. You can choose whichever. And what you will do is you will ask these questions on your slides. Okay, one of you will be the recruiter. You will be asking, maybe you can choose questions. Let's focus on just 3 questions. You can ask about any 3 questions, okay? Ask about any 2 or 3 questions for now. And the other will be responding to these 2 to 3 questions quickly, okay? And then you will exchange the roles. You will change the roles afterwards, after you finish it. So in the next round, you will be changing the roles. You will ask again, you will exchange the roles. The recruiter will be the job applicant. The job applicant will be the recruiter. And you will again ask 2 to 3 of these questions, whichever you choose. Okay? So let us get started. Again, you don't need to come up with the ideal answer, okay? You can improvise. It is just a matter of practice, really. And don't be stressed out at all. This is a great exercise for learning. So relax, okay? Relax. It is just a great exercise for you to practice. And please help each other, okay? You are a mentor to each other. Try to help each other. Try to provide some feedback and recommendations afterwards, okay? So let us get started. This is a great practice opportunity, and best of luck to each of the teams. You can choose just two to three questions. That's it, okay? Let's get started. So all the groups, please try to talk if you can. You can do these much better if you talk. So try to talk if you can. Use your microphones and just choose two to three questions, okay? Ask each other. I do not see much action in the groups. Please try to talk. Try to talk, everyone. I know some of you are preferring to write to each other. That's also fine. But try to talk first. You will get much more benefit from this exercise if you just talk. Okay? Okay, so there's not much action going on. So I'm finishing the teamwork. Let's come back to the. I know some of you were talking. Sorry about the interruption. But many of the teams, it seems, are not active. So I recommend that please do this exercise with one of your friends, okay? So as I have observed, many of the teams, you did not talk. So I think you need to give this some attention, okay? So do this exercise whenever you can with one of your friends, okay? So do this on your own. What you will do is you will schedule an online coffee session with one of your friends. And what you will do in that session is you will go over each of these questions. You will prepare your answers, of course, and then you will each interview one another. Okay, you will each interview one another, and then after you finish, you will provide feedback to one another. So you will act as a mentor and give feedback to one another. So please do this with your friends whenever you can, one of your friends, and both of you will be learning a lot from this process. So it's a great opportunity. Do it on your own, please, but make sure you do it, especially if you're applying for a job, make sure that you do it a couple of times before the actual job interview. Because in my experience, if you do at least a couple of mock interviews like this, you will be much more confident because you will be much more experienced. So I would recommend that you do at least 2 to 3 or even 4 mock interviews with your friends before the real job interview. Okay, I recommend that you really do this because it will add tremendous benefit to you. My earlier students came up with this clip for job interviews. I want to show a segment of it. They created this clip.
Today I'm going to have an interview. I just wanna perform my best. I got my CV on my head and dressing like a businessman. Today I swear I will perfect everything. I'm gonna read a website, find out the background, got it in my head and use it when I get a chance. Nobody's gonna tell me I can't. I've been living from my house, show telling me slowly. Smile and say hello so they can see that I'm a friendly. Cause in my office I'm a different man. Oh yes, I'm married. I'm married cause I can. Today I'm going to have an interview. I just wanna get my dream job. I got my CV on my computer if you can. No, 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 it's just from an interview. You can also get what you want. Just got to do what's in this song. Practice future won't be long. Cause if you prepare, you can achieve anything. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy.
Okay, so in the next part, I offer some strategies for you to celebrate what makes you weird. So this is my belief. I think we all need to celebrate what is weird about our personality, about ourselves, and don't be embarrassed about it, but celebrate it. Here is my article that I have written on this. You can see the friend link. If you click on it, you will find this Medium article. It is like a masterclass on being weird. And it is shown that, research shows that when you show your weirdness, it actually benefits your mental health. And let's say you celebrate your geekness, weirdness, it's always good for your health, happiness, and also success. So you need to have close friends that you share. So you need to find friends who will celebrate and share your weirdness with you. And Steve Jobs has a manifesto on this. Here is the crazy ones. That's an advertisement for Apple, and you can watch it on YouTube. And there are many things on becoming obsessed and weird. For example, Harley and Davidsons, they invented motorcycles. They were obsessed about motorcycles. You can watch the series. Or Vidal Sassoon, he was obsessed about hair and hair design. And he became wildly successful about hair design.
Revolutionized the way women of the world look. I'm Vidal's assistant. And if you don't look good, we don't look good. A multi-million-dollar international corporation. Famous for creating the shape, the 5-point, the bob, and the many, many more. I spent from 5 to 11 in the orphanage. Being Jewish, we stood out in those days. If I was going to be in hairdressing, I wanted to change things.
You sat there, you teased it, and if you didn't say for a week, you were in big trouble.
I wanted to eliminate the superfluous and get down to the basic angles of cut and shape.
Women were liberated, very particularly through their haircuts. He's revolutionised not just hair, but fashion.
Do you always insist on giving people what you think's right rather than what they ask for?
Vidal made everybody nervous.
He was crazy.
I actually did once throw my scissors in the air and they stuck in the ceiling.
So he was crazy about hair. Steve Madden, another crazy person, he was crazy about shoes.
Steve Madden. Shoe guy.
Those funny fashion ads of the big heads and the big shoes.
He was in that movie Wolf of Wall Street. Steve Madden. Let's start.
To my family, being creative was being able to fix the television. So in an effort to straighten me out, my dad said I had to go to work. So I got a job in a shoe store. This is where I learned the shoe business. I used to work here. A girl would come in and you were part of designing their lifestyle and their wardrobe. This is cute too, Clark. I got obsessed with shoes. I quit one day, put $1,100 in the bank, and went to work in my own business. I knew that I had to come up with a hit. Made a shoe that was for a market that wasn't being served. We called it the Maryland. It was truly young fashion. I got this call from my childhood pal. Danny said, we're looking for companies to raise money. He said he's got this genius behind his company named Georgie.
Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort, a wolf of Wall Street. We'll raise you the money you need to build the business. I became part of the scheme because I didn't care about anything but building the business. Then the whole thing came crashing down, and there was nothing I could do at that point. It's some sort of neurotic drive. Here's what we're doing. My work and my life are one. You can't separate them. It was an older industry. We disrupted it. My greatest fear was going to prison. The ball dropped, the rural stops. You can't run a business from prison. Mackerel was the currency. Mackerel, fish, that was the currency. I became the mackerel king. He wasn't like a weekend warrior. He'd be face down a lot of places. He was a full-time barbarian. That's the guy I want to hang out with. Oy, oy, oy.
Our sales started plummeting.
It was worse than I thought. It blindsided us. When it all costs, there are costs. I'm completely insane.
So he was about obsessed, and this guy, photographer, he is obsessed about waves and capturing them.
Really years and years of paddling out and watching your friends. So when you get a camera in your hand, as a surfer growing up, you already know exactly where you want to be. And so that placement, but you know, Clark Little had a unique thing where he was more nuts than all of us. Definitely knew the white man short break better than anybody that I've ever known as far as being able to take it on the head out there.
So here is the exercise. What are you obsessed about? I want you to open your notebook now. Please write about what you love. Make a list of your obsessions. What are your hobbies, curiosities, and passion? Please do some brainstorming. Write them down in the next 1 minute. What are you obsessed about? What are your hobbies, curiosities, passion? Make a list, please. And write them down very quickly. Make a quick list. Please wrap up your list as much as you can. These should be the things that you love. They should be things that are effortless. You know, you are already doing that. What are they? Maybe you can turn these into a career. You can act as a hero doing these things. So what can you do about these things to bring something new, fresh to the world? Think about that now. In the next 30 seconds, what can you do about these hobbies, curiosities, passions, obsessions? What can you do about these? How can you bring something new, fresh, exciting to the world? Please create your ideas and write them down quickly in the next 30 seconds. Please continue thinking about these topics. Try to write yourself a letter whenever you have a chance. Keep a journal about these ideas. And please respond to these questions as well on finding your passion. What was your favorite thing to do growing up? When you were a child, what did you dream of doing? What is a favorite topic to talk about? What do you like doing so much that you lose track of time? Whose life do you envy the most and why? What would you do differently if you have a chance to start over? If you had 5 minutes and the whole world would listen, what would you say? What would you do with your life if you had no fear? What would you do with your life if you had a guarantee for success, guarantee of success? And what would you do with your life if money wasn't an issue? So any new ideas, please capture them in your diary. Anything that will help you to respond to these questions, please capture your ideas very quickly. Write them down in your notebook. Because these are your passions, your curiosities. You need to follow them. So what are they? Capture your thoughts very quickly, please. Okay, there is a documentary on Tony Robbins. This is on Netflix. I recommend you watch it. It is called Tony Robbins, I'm Not Your Guru. He's obsessed about success. Make sure you watch it. You'll learn a lot. There is another one, Finding Vivian Maier. She's a nanny, but she was obsessed about photography. And this is a documentary about her life and her photography. It is, again, a great movie. I recommend you watch this as well.
Across the street from my home, I found this box loaded with negatives. I won it for $380.
The history of street photography is being rewritten.
Vivian Maier.
Vivian Maier.
Vivian Maier?
Exhibitions in New York, in LA, in London, Chicago.
We've had more interest in this work than any other photographer.
There's one particular that I bought, which I love. The composition is slightly off to me, and I think that's why I like it.
So you can watch this documentary. It is amazing. Vivian Maier. And her photography became famous after she died. And you can learn so much about passion watching this documentary. Another great example of being weird and loving your weirdness is Joseph. Joseph loves doing useless machines. Let's look at what he does. And he's extremely popular on YouTube.
For years, Joseph Herscher has been fastidiously building incredibly complex machines to simplify his life. They turn newspaper pages for him. They cut his hair. And they serve him cake.
I am Joseph, and I make useless machines.
Of course, utility is in the eye of the beholder.
And it burns a string, which releases his hammer, and shoots the asparagus.
But in an age of computer graphics and slick video editing, Joseph's single continuous shot videos of wacky contraptions stand out for their intricately kinetic lo-fi whimsy.
And is delivered to my open mouth. Machines are usually designed to be as efficient as possible. And to then go and make a machine that's super inefficient and playful, there's something sort of delightful and absurd about that.
His creations have delighted millions on his YouTube channel, Joseph's Machines.
The first machine I ever made was to pour a cup of tea for my roommates, and it would take so long to run that the tea would be cold. So that didn't really work. But we filmed it and I put it on YouTube, and that was the one that went viral, and that's how I ended up with this as a career.
Machines often start with a small personal irritation.
I hate always trying to get the last bit of ketchup out of a bottle. So you know when the sauce gets stuck at the bottom of the bottle? Annoying, right? So that motivates me, like, there's got to be a better way. Here we go. And then I remember one day thinking, oh, I know, if I attach it to a fan and then spin the fan. So I made a video for that. Perfect!
Joseph, who grew up in New Zealand, was fascinated by problem-solving machines from a young age.
Growing up, I had no siblings, and I would spend hours and hours on the floor of my room.
Okay, so you can watch his YouTube channel. He is amazing. Now, here is your exercise. Open your notebook, please. Make a list of 6 things that make you weird. Let's start with a couple of things. Make a list of them. Try to find at least 3 of them. 3, 4, 5, 6. Make a list. And write them down in your notebook, please. We will celebrate them, okay? What is weird about you? For example, I love watching Turkish dramas. Each Turkish drama episode is about 2.5 hours, but I tend to write or do my work while listening to them on my computer. Whenever I listen to these Turkish dramas, I work better. I know that this is weird, but I love it. So what else? Like, what is weird about your habits? Please them down. For example, I'm very clumsy. My close friends know that I'm very clumsy. I bump into objects all the time. One time, I put the kettle on the oven by mistake, and then opened the oven and left the kitchen, and then you know what happened. And then afterwards, that kettle, we couldn't use it again, unfortunately. So I do these grave mistakes, yeah, because I'm clumsy and absent-minded. So, so please make a list of all the things that make you weird. Write them down. And our messages here is, weird is good. We need to celebrate it more. because weirdness is also the key to creativity. You know, you shouldn't be normal. You should be weird. We should all celebrate our own weirdness. Unleash it even more. Don't care about what others say about you, really. Live your life fully, happily. And that means celebrating your weirdness. That is a recipe for happiness and creativity. So what are the things that make you weird? Make a list and think about how you will nourish these. Weird is good. Remember that. So please make your own lists. Write them down quickly. So weirdness is always good, I said. Yeah. Here is another secret. I have created my own TV series. I posted a blog link on that. You can click on it. So I was really bored last December. So what I did was I created my own parody TV series, Turkish TV series, just for fun. And it is like something that I did, which was absolutely foolish and ridiculous. And why did I do this? Why do I do these things? Because they make me happier and more creative. And you should do the same. Don't care about what others say. This is your life. You are living it. If you are happy, then people will also be more happy. You know, you will bring happiness as well. So sometimes we restrict ourselves too much, and there is too much pressure to be normal. You know, we shouldn't be normal at all. We should be crazy. We should be weird. We should be geeks. Life is so much better when you are geeks and when you are outside normal. So that's my approach anyway. Okay. So here are some positive thoughts, affirmations on that. You can practice these every day. I get better every single day. I am enough. I'm an amazing person. I forgive myself for my mistakes. I'm just perfect just the way I am. My mistakes help me learn and grow. So these positive thoughts help us become more relaxed. And then we will celebrate ourselves more. And we will create more happiness. Okay. Here's a Shark Tank episode. You can find this online or on Netflix. Potato parcel. So they write messages on a, and they got investment on it. It is such a weird idea, very stupid idea, but there's an economy of stupid. People love stupid ideas. As long as you implement them well, you can be even rich. These guys have become rich. They made at least $300,000 by sanding potatoes and writing messages on them. It is such a great surprise. It is foolish, yes, but it works so well. So we need more absurdity in that respect. So you don't need to be clever all the time. You can be goofy, foolish, and still make money, and you still be popular. A great example is
when Daddy said
Jake Whitehall.
that he wants to visit Europe, the continent that he famously voted to leave.
So Jake Whitehall travels Europe with his father. He's father is a Brexit voter.
I think now could be a very good time for me to share some of my wisdom with Jack, to just show that there is more to life than telling jokes about his penis. It's quite weird knowing that. What? That Putin? Vladimir Putin's probably had a wank in that bed. Oh, Jack, please.
My feeling is that this cultural tour has gone off the rails very quickly.
Yeah. Oh, it's never got on the rails, to be honest. Oh. Oh, sorry, they haven't saw me. It's like it came out of your ass. Why are those ambulance people looking so excited, sizing you up for a stretcher?
So,
You look like Cruella de Vil. Get that off and get it here. Absolutely no way.
so the last part is about celebrating your failures and turning them into learning. If you want to be successful in the long term, that means you need to fail a lot. You need to fail sooner and as much as you can, because this means deeper learning. So it is going to be okay. At 23 years old, J.K. Rowling was broke. Jeff Bezos didn't start Amazon until much later. Walt Disney was bankrupt. So it is okay. There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. This includes a lot of failures, rejection, mistakes, frustrations. So you have to climb there step by step. And that means a lot of failures. You are going to fail a lot of times. Look at J.K. Rowling. She failed 12 times. 12 times rejected. She was homeless. And Sir Dyson, he failed more than 5,000 times before he invented the vacuum cleaner. And Walt Disney was rejected 302 times. So you have to fail in order to succeed. And Jack Ma also explained this on Davos Economic Forum.
You don't have a loot, don't move your loot. Your house. Well, my grandfather was a tiny landlord, was finishing the young people, if you want to go university, you have to take the examinations. So I failed 3 times. Quite a lot of fail. I failed for funny things that I failed a key primary school test for 2 times. And I failed 3 times for the middle schools. And you will never believe in Hangzhou, my city, there's only 1 middle school that lasts only 1 year. It was changed from primary school to middle school because our graduates of our school, no middle school accept us because we were too bad. Yeah. They will become a middle school.
What effect did it have, though, being rejected?
Well, I think we have to get used to it. We're not that good. Even today, we still have a lot of people reject us. I think when I graduate from universities, and before I, for 3 years, I tried to fill in the universities. So I applied jobs for 30 times, got rejected. I went for a police. They said, no, you're not good. I went to even the KFC. When KFC came to China, come to my state, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only one guy. And we went for police. 5 people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that I received it. So to me, being turned down, rejected. Oh, by the way, I told you that I applied for Harvard for 10 times, rejected. I know I'll be rejected.
Sorry now. Sorry now.
So rejections, failures are a part of life. And let me give you examples from myself. My current CV is about 10 pages, but it only lists accomplishments. Nobody sees my failures. And this is the same for everyone. Success is an iceberg. People see success, but people don't see failure, hard work, disappointments. People don't see these. So if I had a CV of failures, it would be at least 50 pages, maybe 100 pages. It would be much longer than my actual CV. For example, I was rejected by all PhD programs after my undergrad. I applied for more than 100 jobs when I finished my PhD. It was a time of economic crisis, and I got rejected by them all. And I got rejected from academic journals at least 120 times. So I'm all about failures. And my message is this: you need to celebrate failures, learn from them, and use them as opportunities for your learning. Don't be traumatized by your failures. You will have a chance to improve. Even if you are lost in your life, you can improve on, and you can continue your learning. So if you want to get better, you need to go out of your comfort zone. You need to challenge yourself. You need to fail a lot. And it is never too late. All these people, they became successful when they were really late in their lives. So it doesn't matter really. What matters is you keep your morale up. So as you can see in this diary, you know, because of the pandemic, you might sometimes be feeling really down, really unhappy. You know, I'm tired, stressed out, I don't feel like doing anything, everything sucks, everything is meaningless, I'm a loser, all these internal talk. And this negative talk is very harmful. You need to change it into a positive talk on the right-hand side. Only I can make a positive change. I have to start somewhere through small steps. I have to hang in there. And this is my journey. I will fall down, but get up again. And I will get better each time. I will work hard and challenge myself and learn from all these failures and not quit. So you need to have more positive conversations with yourself. Sometimes you will have boredom, anxiety, stress, darkness, depression. So a bully in your head. So the solution is take care of yourself, help others, be generous, move, walk, exercise, meditate, keep calm and move on. You know, you need to really take good care of yourself. Okay. Sometimes you will fail. You are not a failure. Embrace failures, use them for your own learning. And if you are overwhelmed, stressed out, write morning pages. Write whatever comes into your mind for 20 minutes or half an hour in the morning. This is your stream of consciousness. If you have any problems, write them on your diary. And this will help you a lot. And you can also give a break. Give yourself a small holiday. Give yourself a treat, a mini vacation. Spend some time in nature, walk, go to the lake, go to a river. So find time to take care of yourself. Okay. So you need to cultivate positive habits, creative habits, generative habits for yourself. Let's look at J.K. Rowling as we finish.
Today, on location in Scotland. Take the bus. The billionaire mom behind the Harry Potter empire, J.K. Rowling. You gotta meet her.
This is a thing I've never really spoken about.
I know you went through a period of depression. One of the most fascinating interviews I've ever done. You regret that?
Hugely, hugely. I've got that to make myself cry.
Next. The J.K. Rowling legend begins with a delightful children's book about an orphan boy wizard with a lightning-shaped scar, a boy with a magical destiny, a destiny shared by his creator.
J.K. Rowling is the first self-made billionaire author in history, selling more than 400 million books, captivating readers in 69 languages and 200 countries around the world. Harry's final chapter, The Deathly Hallows, is the fastest-selling book of all time. No wonder she's credited with doing more for literacy than anyone else on the planet. Her empire spans movies, merchandise, even an amusement park. The Harry Potter blockbusters are the highest-grossing movie franchise in Hollywood history, raking in $5.3 billion and still counting. So, this is the first time we've met?
Yes. Terrible place.
So you became depressed after your mother died?
Yes, but I think it was a kind of delayed. I think I had tendencies towards depression from quite young. It became really acute when I was sort of 25 to 28. Was a dark time. It's that absence of feeling, and it's even the absence of hope that you can feel better. And it's so difficult to describe to someone who's never been there. But because it's not sadness. Sadness is, I know sadness. Sadness is not a bad thing, you know, to cry and to feel. But it's that cold absence of feeling, that really hollowed out feeling. That's what the dementors are. And it was because of my daughter that I went and got help.
Coming up, how Jo's epic failure became a billion-dollar success story, and why she turned down the king of pop. That's big. That you
said no to a lot of things. The inessential. I stopped.
So what happened was she was with her baby living under the poverty line, and she was scared. She only had one hope, writing this Harry Potter book.
So why do I talk about the benefits of failure? Simply because failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was, and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. I was set free because my greatest fear had been realized, and I was still alive, and I still had a daughter whom I adored, and I had an old typewriter and a big idea. And so rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all.
So I'll stop here. It's a great inspiration. You can watch the whole interview. But what are your biggest failures? Please think about them in entrepreneurship, business, or your career, as well as in different fields of creativity. What were your failures? And write about them. And what can you learn from them? So how can you go forward in each domain? Identify a few small actions to heal yourself in each domain about your failures, so we can revisit them, we can get better. Okay, so I'll finish up here. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week in our seminars. Thank you very much, everyone. This is the QR code, so I'm posting it again. Thank you for everything. Here's the QR code. Thanks everyone, and see you next week. Bye-bye.